Coach, good morning. Federico Olvera from Mexico. Coach, who has been your mentor in your career, and what would be the key in order to stop this Pat Mahomes the next Sunday?
Yeah, a lot of mentors that I've had. Starting with my dad, who was one of my coaches, my brothers. My mom wasn't one of my coaches, but definitely one of my mentors. And then, Larry Karras, Frank Reich, big mentors for me as far as the coaching profession goes.
Right side standing up on the outside.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't answer your second part. Yeah, we'll have to be to stop Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, we'll have to be on our game. We'll have to tackle well. We'll have to get off blocks well. We'll have to rush well. Have to be on the same page. He obviously presents a lot of challenges. He's a phenomenal football player and presents a lot of challenges. So we'll have to be at the top of our game.
Right side, outside. Ernesto Del Valle from Fox Sports Mexico. The Eagles have a lot of fans in Mexico, and they support a lot you, support Shokan Barkley, Hurts, all the players. Can you give a message for all the people in Mexico that really support you and they're done of the Chiefs, that they're going to win again?
Well, thank you for all the support there. That means a lot to us. I know when I was on in media night, somebody gave me, I think from Mexico, gave me a bunch of letters. I haven't looked through them all yet, but we appreciate the support, and thank you to Mexico.
We're going to go left side here, outside. Tim?
Hey, Tim.
And going back to the idea that a lot of players have used the Super Bowl loss as motivation, what's your messaging been this week to, so players can use it, but also are staying within themselves and aren't chasing the past?
Yeah, that obviously that makes for a good story. All that, but that's a different team, different time. I think one thing we talk a lot about is embracing adversity and how adversity shapes you into the person that you are. So all our setbacks, including the 2022 end of the season, we use to help shape us who we are. It's about embracing adversity and growing from all your, not only the good things that happen, but then also the bad things that happen. Because again, like I said, that just shapes the person, the player, the coach you are.
Right side of the aisle here, second row.
Nick, you started off your head coaching career calling plays in 2021. You haven't since then. What about being a head coach is important outside of calling plays, which has allowed you to have success going to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, being able to oversee the operation and put an emphasis on building a culture?
Yeah, there's a lot obviously to do during a game as far as managing a football game, and all the things that go into that, with decisions that go into that, and 2-minute football, 4-minute football, 4th down decisions, everything that it goes there, and so. On game day, that's what I'm focused on. As far as during the week and things like that, still go to a lot of different meetings and talk through a lot of the game planning with the offense. But as far as sorry, a little distracted back here. But as far as it's about setting the culture. It's about being able to go to different things, being able to, if a player needs you, to be able to step out of a meeting to be able to meet with that player. There are a lot of different things that go into it. Calling plays is one portion of it that some coaches do and some coaches don't. So that's just the mode that I have.
Hi, Coach. Will you tell me a little bit about the importance of reacquiring C.J. Gardner-Johnson as part of your secondary, especially in light of his 6 interceptions this season?
Yeah, obviously he brings great, the play on the field speaks for itself. He does a phenomenal job. I think he's one of our great tacklers that we have. We got a lot of good tacklers, and he does a great job of setting the tone with how he tackles. Obviously, he gets the ball away he has a special ability to take the football away. I think about the Dallas game, the second time we played Dallas at home this year, and the interception that he makes to put us up 7-0 early on in the game. So he has a special ability there. But what I love about him is his energy, his love for football, his love for his teammates. He's got unlimited amount of energy. and that's contagious. You know, you get around him and you can't have a bad day. He's going to make sure that you're up and ready to go for practice. You know, through the different ways that he does it. You know, so love having him back on this football team. He's been a major part of our success and why we're here right now.
Front row right, the green shirt. Hey, Coach, you've had the privilege of working with a lot of great athletes over your career. You mentioned yesterday being emotional on the sidelines, excited a lot, and it reminds me a lot of someone you had the pleasure of working with, Phillip Rivers. Can you talk a lot about maybe the bond you've had with him, your evolution as a coach alongside him, both with Indianapolis and the Chargers, and just overall what he's meant to you as a person on and off the field? Yeah,
he obviously I was with him at 2 stints for 5 years with the Chargers and then 1 year with the Colts. So I've been with, you know, I was with Phillip for 6 years. Man, did he make me a better coach. Why do I say that? You know, when I was his position coach, I had to dig and claw and scratch just to find one nugget to give him a week that he hadn't seen, right? Or that, because he has seen everything, he's been through everything, and so it just made you just make sure you had to be on everything because he had seen it already, and then what nugget could you get him to help him during the week there, and so it really made me even better of a coach just because of the detail that I had to have coaching him. His passion for the game of football and his teammates, same thing. Again, was incredible. Man, he was an incredible player. Still get a chance to talk to him a couple times every other month or so, and he meant a lot to me as a coach. You know, the good player, you know, I think Vic said it the other day. I don't know how exactly he said it, but good players keep you employed in this league. The secret to being a good coach is having good players. So I was really grateful for the time. I've been very fortunate to be around very good quarterbacks. You know, Jalen, Phillip, Andrew Luck, Matt Castle was a great experience I had with him. Jacoby Brissett, same thing. So. But have an opportunity to been around a lot of good quarterbacks and learn how they think and everything like that. So he was awesome and meant a lot to me as I got to coach him.
All right, left side here, third row.
How you doing, Coach? Dr. Bruce Grosinger, Eagles season ticket holder, 40 years. I'm a sports guy.
There you go.
Got to marvel at your medical staff. I'm talking about Brandon Graham. The fact that he tore his triceps, had surgery, and he's prepared to play in the big game is stunning to me. I guess a two-part question. One is he going to be wearing that Rob Gronkowski brace on his forearm? And B, I want you to tell us, close your eyes and tell us, what would it be like for Brandon to get a strip sack and hoist the Lombardi Trophy?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where he is by with the end of the week. I know the Philly media is looking at me like, you better answer that the same way you answer all injury questions throughout the year. But we'll see where he is by the end of the week. You know, if he's able to be out there with us, it'd mean a lot to this football team. Just his leadership, obviously his ability and his play, and the things that he can do. But it'd mean a lot for us out there to be able to make. You know, if he's out there, I know he'll make plays that help us win or the football game.
All right, right side, front.
Good morning, Coach. Speaking of Vic Fangio, I mean, he comes in here with a lot of new guys. He had been here as a consultant, and now he's obviously the DC. What have you learned about him and his sort of wizardry over the years and abilities to turn defenses around in such short order?
Yeah, he's got great experience. You know, when you talk about coaches, sometimes you're like, he's been a good coach for years. He's been a good coach for decades, which is impressive. He's had an unbelievable career and done so many good things, and just so grateful that he's on this staff. I think that, you know, he has a standard of how it's supposed to look and holds the guys to that standard. And he's not afraid to tell you what he thinks of if you don't meet the standard, and praise you if you do meet the standard. So, and I think the guys, I mean, there was a clip I saw of the guys kind of imitating him. I think imitation is a form of flattery, and so the guys like him. The guys like the fact that he can make them a better football player and help them, help them reach their goals as players. So, he's been awesome. Like, just the way he's connected with the guys in that matter, you can see it in that matter, and then just the way he's called the defense, and he's great on game day, brings so much experience, helps me on some other things too. With some things, if I have a question, it's nice to have a former head coach there on staff with me, and so he's meant a lot to this team, and he's been awesome this year.
All right, left side, aisle. Hey, Coach, the Eagles are the first team since the 92-93 Dallas Cowboys to enter this game with the top-ranked defense and a rushing game to post over 2,000 yards. Is there any added pressure with such an elite defense and a strong rushing attack to win this game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to do everything we can possibly do to put ourselves in position this week to win the game. That means the way we prep, the way we prepare. There's always pressure in this game. Like, have you been to Philly? I tell the story sometimes about one of my first games there as the head coach, and we're in a preseason game, and it was a preseason game, and they were booing at halftime, and I kind of remember getting in the car. So my wife adapted very quickly to Philly because I got in the car, and I've told this story before. So us coaches only have so many stories, and we recycle them and tell them over and over again. But I got in the car, and I'm like, could you believe that they were booing us at halftime of the second preseason game? It was against the Patriots. And she said, well, what'd you give them to cheer about? And I was like, that was fair. And so, there's pressure in all professional sports. We're used to that. We're built for it. And so what we need to do is control the things. Like, we can't control with the outside noise or anything like that, and all we can control is our habits, and that's what we'll try to do this week to try to put ourselves in position to succeed this weekend.
Right side, middle, third row. Hey, Coach. Can you remember the exact moment when you knew you'd officially got Saquon Barkley? And obviously you would have watched his film as a player. Were you aware of what you were getting in terms of a teammate and a leader?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's not it's very obvious when you watch the tape how good of a player he is, right? But the things that he has, that he brings to our football team as far as his leadership, his work ethic, he's an awesome teammate. Those are the things that make him very special. And that's pretty special that I'm saying that even more after you see him jumping over guys backwards and all that stuff. Seeing him on tape, seeing him in person, having to play against him 2 times a year in division. A lot of times at the beginning of the year, I was like, man, this is exactly what I saw on tape when we were like, hey, here's how you got to try to tackle this guy. Because I remember just how many times he was on the Wednesday morning, hey, get ready for the opponent tape, like, hey, you got to make sure you close the space. You got all the things that we talk about with tackling was really emphasized with him, and it's awesome. He's an awesome teammate, awesome person. I can't say enough good things. I could spend the rest of this press conference talking about, what Saquon's meant to this football team and not even talk about anything on the field.
Left side, third row over here.
Hi, Coach. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about Jordan Davis's impact this season, both his impact and his growth.
Yeah, he continues to get better. He's been in great shape all season, and I think that's why you see him continuing to get better. I feel like every time you guys ask me about somebody, I kind of start talking about how good of a teammate he is. This guy is infectious around the team, and what he brings, and he's one of the. Someone asked me the other day, who's the funniest person on your team? Like, Slay, right? I'm like, yeah, Slay's up there, but Jordan Davis is pretty funny, and he just brings so much to the team as far as his personality, his play out there. He's massive. It's hard to move him, and had a big sack last game that we played. And so he just continues to get better, and he's been very important to this defense.
All right, we've got time for a couple more. Back right, Stacy.
Yeah, hey Nick, Stacy Gills, NFL Network. Let's go back to Saquon. What's it like for you to witness and coach a running back, obviously having a historic season, who's exponentially getting better and better and is more stronger, faster right now than at any point in the season as you head into a game like this?
Yeah, I think that when we talk about the game of football, you can't be great without the greatness of others. So you're seeing Saquon, be able to completely shine with the offensive line that's blocking for him, and Jalen, the things that he does, but with holding the backside as far as his ability to run. And so you're seeing, he's around all these great players and a great offensive line, and you're seeing him just shine big time. And then as far as what you asked about with him being in great, he's got himself in great shape, and works so hard at his body, and it's a tribute to our trainers, our strength staff, our doctors, our nutritionists, of keeping him where he needs to be there and maintaining where he needs to be. And so we manage that throughout. I think there was a lot of, I don't hear the questions anymore that I got early in the year of like, can Saquon take this many carries all game? What if he does this? What if this happens? What if that happens? And my response to that always, Stacy, was, well, what we're going to do is we're going to try to win every single game. No matter how we need to win the game, we'll try to do that. And this year it's been a lot of carries for Saquon. And then you manage that in between games, right? So maybe he has a Wednesday that's not quite as, not quite as rigorous for him, or Thursday or Friday, and you manage it there. And so just again, great efforts, obviously first and foremost by Saquon himself to have his body, firing like it is right now, and then also all the people that go involved in it. Again, this game's awesome, and you can't be great without the greatness of others, and that speaks in every aspect of the organization. And that's how we think, and that's why I think you see our football team. When you talk to our football team, hopefully you guys are seeing this, because I see it very clearly. They're just talking about how much they mean to each other. Everybody means to each other, and I think that's the secret to good teams, is they don't want to let each other down.
All right, last one here is Zach on the left. As a follow-up to that, Nick, the phrase "can't be great without the greatness of others," you said it to us just about every day, but you didn't start saying it until late September. Is there a story or a background behind that phrase, and how have you seen it resonate with the guys?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's just the truths of football. Truths of football. We talk about tough, detailed together an awful lot. And if I said to just a group of people that didn't even know anything about football, hey, the toughest team's going to win. Well, yeah. Hey, the most detailed team making the fewest mistakes is going to win. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Hey, the most together team in this awesome team sport is gonna have the best chance to win. And those are all the truths of football. So it's just, at this point of the year, I don't have any new coaching points for them, right? It's not like I saved something for this moment. Like, we just keep going back to the truths of football. And one of the major truths of football is I can't be great without the greatness of others. That applies so much in this game. It's the best team sport there is. There's no other team sport like it. And you need the success and everyone doing their job, as Jalen says, everyone checking their box if you're going to be successful as a football team. It can't be one guy does it, another guy doesn't do it. That doesn't work. It's 11 people working as one, 11 people checking their box, 11 people knowing that they can't be great without the greatness of others.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, folks.
How we doing?
Jalen, over here to your right, I want to ask you about A.J. Brown, who had a very good game in the Super Bowl, right over here, had a big game in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. How important will he be this weekend as a change-up complementary piece to Saquon?
Well, I think everyone all year has been, I think the goal has always been to try and complement everything that we have, all the talent that we have, making sure everyone's involved and trying to utilize that, because everyone has the ability to make a difference. And so it's a matter of taking advantage of opportunities when your number's called.
Jalen, you have multiple offensive coordinators in your years of being in the NFL, but can you talk about Kellen Moore and what he's meant for your quarterbacking skills?
Yeah, he's been another person that I've been able to take in and take a lot from. You know, I think that's always been my MO, just pursuing this gradual improvement over my career. And I've been fortunate to have a ton of different people be involved in that, you know, and it's, you know, everyone desires that continuity because that consistency definitely does breed something. But there's also something in having a mentality of, you know, turning these situations into a positive and learning as much as I can, taking in as much knowledge as I can so I can be the best player I can be and ultimately lead the team to success. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Yes, sir. Good to see you, Jalen.
Same here.
AP Stedham, AP as we see it. Jalen, you've been in big games, Super Bowl. What are some things you try to tell teammates for this is their first time? And then what would you like to say to the Eagles fans before this game?
To the Eagles fans, I always feel the love wherever we go. I always feel the energy and the support, and we'll need it one more time this week. And as far as my teammates that may have not experienced a game like this before or been in these type of moments, just treat it as you treat any other moment. You know, it's all about your focus. It's all about keeping the main thing truly, approaching everything diligently, daily, trusting the walk, trusting the work, staying in routine so you can prepare to do what you need to do and execute.
Hey, Jalen, how you doing?
Doing well.
Over the last few years, you've had a litany of different offensive-minded coordinators. How do you stay consistent, and what do you do to prepare yourself throughout any play call or just knowing that you got to do what you got to do on the field?
Yeah, it's always this openness to learn as much as I can and take in the new ideas that they bring in, but also knowing that there's a way that you see the game as well. And so I think with all the changes that have been here and all the changes that I've been through, I've been the only constant in that and in terms of how I play the game and ultimately the desire to win, you know, kind of season over season, all of those things. And so I've just been very diligent in it, being open-minded, coming in open arms and taking it all in so I can continue my development.
Ernesto Del Valle from Focus Sport Mexico. Did you make something special about these days with your tight ends, with your wide receivers, or something that is not normal in the regular season? Because you have Español and the defense is very, very hard for the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, you know, this is a great opponent we're about to play. A really good opponent, well coached, great players, smart, and it'll be a great challenge for us. And I think for us, regardless of what the position is, it's just about controlling what we can. You know, we got an opportunity to, you know, get to work and invest into this thing and, you know, just go through our process throughout the week. So I think in a fair clutch of circumstance, that's what we're going to lean on.
Hey, Jalen, right here. Last year you had the most interceptions in your entire career, and this year you followed it up with the fewest in your entire career in a full season. I'm curious, what has led to this efficient bounce back for you this season?
It's just been the work. You know, I think, again, you can attest all of these different things to change in continuity in the sense of, you know, you want to find a rhythm in one person. It's been a challenge to do that, but ultimately my desire to try and find a way to win the game overseas everything else. And so whether it's, you know, whatever stats are out there, good, bad, or indifferent, you know, I ask myself, did I win?
Hi, Jalen.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm Shadana with AP As We See It and D-Love Sports. So you've definitely been an advocate for women, and you have a women-led supporting cast. How important is that for moments like this?
I think it's huge. I think it's monumental, you know, and I think it in many ways it bridges that gap, you know. And when I made those decisions to have a female-led team, I definitely wasn't thinking about being a trendsetter or trying to make this big drastic change in the world of business, but ultimately I just looked at individuals that I trusted and I had a lot of confidence in, and I knew that they stood on business in terms of what they were asked to do. And so it's cool to be able to pave a new lane in that as I walk through my journey in my career, and all of that is, you know, a testament to their hard work and how they show up. So keep on rewriting history with that.
Thank you.
How you doing, Jalen? After falling just short in Super Bowl 57 a couple years ago, I'm sure your main focus was just trying to get back to another Super Bowl, period. But between then and now, was there ever a hope that it would be the Chiefs that you would see again, just to try to kind of get one back?
No, you work really hard for those opportunities, and regardless of who the opponent is, you want to take advantage of that moment.
Hey, Jalen, some of your offensive teammates say they like it when people doubt you out there because you take your game to the next level. You have talked about having those scars and wearing those scars of doubters in college and the pros. Do you secretly like that extra motivation when people are doubting you for extra fuel?
There's no secret.
So what does it do for you to take you to that next level?
It's just who I am, and my mentality and my approach is always to find ways to better myself, and it's always looking internal first, and then looking at my teammates and how I can better the guys around me as well. So, I've always been focused on what I'm asked to do and can I do it at a high level, and then also processing the way that I'm being taught to see the game, and then how I already see the game, and then obviously you have that burning desire to win. So, all of those things are a priority to me.
Jalen over here. Obviously, much gets said about Saquon and his historic season, but what's impressed you about Will Shipley's approach and his level of consistency that you see every day?
Well, I think for him, I got asked this question. I got asked this question yesterday about kind of the guys that don't get the attention that they maybe should or could, and I think just for him showing up on special teams, really starting off with his eagerness in the offseason of work. We spent a lot of time together. We had those moments, and part of that is these guys that maybe don't get, those alpha roles on the team, the roles are still equally important, and so the effort you put in to get better is very essential. But I say for Will, just his willingness to work, him showing up on special teams and showing up in the run game when Saquon needs a blow, him and Kenny, I think those guys are very, very valuable to this team.
Hi, Jalen. Jory Epstein with Yahoo Sports. Quarterbacking requires much more than just arm talent. When you think about the way that you game plan, what's your process with game planning and studying film through the week? Could you walk us through that?
I could talk about that for a very long time. I think to keep it brief, it comes down to trying your best to know how you want to attack a team, and then understanding your opponent. And it's a team game, so you have to complement all these different things in which your team does well. I'm not the one game planning. I'm not the offensive coordinator. I have my ideas, that's for sure, but ultimately you have to be able to bring all these things together and just try and find a way of how you win the game. And I think for us as a team, looking at this year's team, and you can look back over the last few years if you will, I think it comes down to accepting that winning looks different in different seasons, in different games, and ultimately it's about everyone being on the same page and being all in on whatever it's going to take to get it done that week.
Hey Jalen, how you doing? So reflecting on the 2022 loss against the Chiefs, you're back now against the Chiefs. Different, it's an opportunity to kind of get over that hump. Reflecting on that loss, I want to know, is there a different mindset approaching this game? What's that approach look like?
I think the approach is always to go out there and find a way to win. It's always been the approach, and when you have an opponent like that, when you're playing them, you give them the utmost respect, but you want to make it about what you do and go out there and just execute.
Hello, Jalen. You talk a lot about keeping the main thing, and the main thing is winning. You are very goal-oriented. It feels like you're always looking forward. Do you ever have a moment to just kind of sit back, sit down, and enjoy the moment? Because you guys are in the midst of history right now. How often are you able to find those kind of moments of peace?
I wouldn't say I'm goal-oriented. I say I'm value-based. It's about the values. It's about the character you have. It's about the daily things that you do. And so I've always tried to base myself in a strong foundation of, being determined and having a good work ethic and put forth an effort to achieve whatever it is that I envision for myself. And so you have opportunities to smell the roses when it's all said and done. You sacrifice so much and you put a lot of work in for this, and the fun for me comes in winning. The fun for me comes in achieving the success that I've set out to achieve.
All right, Jalen, you guys have been able to make some really explosive plays early in the games, last couple of games. So how has that been able to come together for you guys? Do you just see the matchups, and how are you able to exploit those?
It's just kind of come, you know. It's just kind of come, you know. I think Kellen's done a really good job of putting us in positions early in the game to set it off, and I think bigger, even more importantly, the players have executed it very well. O-line has, you know, gotten after it, put us in good positions to find lanes, and Saquon, you know, making a way out of what he made happen last week on the first play. You know, those are very impressive things by the players.
I'll take 2 more questions. We'll go on the right here.
Hi, Jalen.
How you doing?
It's August from WGN Sports in Boston. A lot of noise this week so far surrounding the Chiefs going for the three-peat. What are some personal things that you're doing to stay locked in before the game this Sunday?
I'm just going through the regular routine I've always gone through, you know, going through my process and just taking it a day at a time. That's always what it's been, and that's what it will be.
Okay, and then we'll do the last one on the left here.
Hey, Jalen. Yeah, down here.
What's going on?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Doing well.
I've been talking to a bunch of guys, man, just around the league and, you know, this past week about just family and their support system. If you had an opportunity to give them, whoever that may be, their flowers, what would you tell them?
Well, I say thank you. Thank you for the support. To Bree, the missus, thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. And thank you for being the rock that I can lean on. Thank you.
you.